Welcome back to the weekly news roundup here on Switch to Linux. This is the business edition. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to come by and interact with us all live. Before we dive on in, you can head on over to switchtolinux.com/support for all of the current up-to-date ways to help support the channel. Of course, we have Patreon, we have Think Life Media. I will be turning on YouTube the YouTube membership sometime soon as well, and you figure out what to do with that. There's a PayPal link there, merch and affiliates. I am still looking into what I want to do about the VPNs. I may drop PIA, I don't know yet. And I will probably drop Nord. Again, I don't know yet. We'll figure this out. I'll figure it out, guys. We'll figure it out. All right, so with all of that, let's go ahead and dive on into the business news. The first under the category of, my lands, this is horrible. Ethos Capital to acquire public interest registry from the Internet Society. Like so. This is the organization that manages .org domain names. So if you have a .org domain name attached to any business or nonprofit or charity entity, this used to be held by an endowment fund inside of a complete nonprofit organization, and they were just sold to a for-profit company. Now, in some of the statements I've seen from the for-profit company, they're saying, oh, well, we're not going to be jacking up the prices, but we might expect to see a 10% pay raise, a 10% increase over the, each year. That's a lot. That's a lot to ask for. .org is usually affiliated with a nonprofit, and for a private profit-based company to come in and grab the nonprofit organization, this is not going to be a good thing for .orgs. But there's really not a lot we can do about it either. I did read through some of this, and some of it's like, they say our mission is to have the utmost integrity in all of our doings. And it's like, yeah, every time I start to hear a company talk about how much integrity they have, it generally means that they probably don't have any at all. So it's kind of going to be an interesting thing. So if you happen to have a .org or you're associated with anybody who has a .org domain name, you might want to go in sometime soon and buy up as many years of that as you possibly can, because it's probably going to keep going up and up and up in price. And so that's something to keep an eye on. Ethos Capital. Keep an eye on them. They are now controlling it. All right. Uber loses their London license after TfL finds drivers' faked identities. Whoops. So some of the drivers apparently were using fake identities because that's all we want, right? We just want to get into random cars with random strangers that are using the service under false pretenses and false names and IDs. You guys see there was a, this is a number of years back now. Maybe it's only a few years back. Uber's pretty new. But it was a guy going through, I forget what town he was in. And he was kind of going through these bipolar crazy moments where he'd go pick a person up on Uber, drop them off, and then go do a mass shooting spree through town, put his gun away, go pick up more people. And it was this weird thing. Like, was it 2020, I think, did a full expose on it. Very interesting case. What is going on with this? This is a particular type of weird, But anyway, Uber loses London license. So basically, Uber is stripped of its ability to do business. More than 14,000 trips were taken with drivers who had faked their identities on the firm's app. Transport for London announced the decision to not renew the ride-hailing company's license at the end of a 2-month probationary extension granted in September. Uber was told that then needed to address the issue with checks on drivers' insurance and safety, but has failed to satisfy the capital's transport authorities. So, yeah, there you go. They said they identified a pattern of failures by Uber. Truer words have never been spoken. I mean, you may as well scratch that in the back of your Bible. Uber has a pattern of failure, you know. So, that's kind of the case here. Despite addressing some of the issues, TFL does not have confidence that similar issues will not reoccur in the future, which has led it to conclude that the company is not fit and proper at this time. If only more cities would take a stronger backbone, then more cute little kitties would not be clubbed, because every time you call a kitty or an Uber, some little kitty gets clubbed, and we don't want kitties to get clubbed. That's not good. That's not good. Of course, that's all in jest, but at the same token, I'm not a big fan of much of the gig economy. I don't have a lot of positive things to say about the gig economy. I think it hurts more than it helps us in our society. But anyway, I digress. Twitter has plans to remove inactive accounts. Now, this article has probably been updated down here. We'll flip down to it because there is an update. If it's not here, I'll tell you what it is. A big question mark just came up. So what they were going to do is any Twitter account that had not been logged in the last 6 months, they were going to send an email warning you to log in. And if they did not log in after a certain period of time, whether that be a week or 2 weeks or a month, whatever, then the account would automatically get deleted. And this raised some immediate questions about what about people who have died, because they have not likely logged in, unless it was either a hacker or being raised from the dead or something. And so Twitter, the update to this article is that no, they're not starting to deactivate them in December. What they're going to do at this point in time is they are going to wait until they have. They're going to wait until they have their. My train of thought has just derailed, as you cannot not guess already. Figure out a way to memorialize an account. Figure out a process by which to mark an account as not logged in because a person is deceased. And then once they get that figured out, then they're going to roll through this plan. So if there is a Twitter account out there that you have, make sure you're logging into it. So here's the update. They are delaying it so they can implement a memorialization account. And so there'll be more information about that. So it's not coming as early as it originally was going to, but it is coming back now. All right, this is an exciting one. All right, everybody. Hey, Alexa, order unicorn meat, because now your Alexa is going to start using emotions and speaking styles, create a more natural and intuitive voice experience. I'm looking at this in a little bit darker light. When you're starting to put emotions behind it, there is a lot of emotion that you can put behind words to manipulate people. It's very possible to manipulate people. If I say, I'm trying to think of a good example. If I say something like, you need to wash the windows today, it's like, sure, it's a factual point, but you need to wash the windows today comes off a whole lot different, right? So what they're doing is they're attaching these emotional overtones to Alexa that you can turn on. They want you to get used to doing these. So it's using neural TTS technology, which sounds frightening enough. They have excited, high intensity, excited, medium, excited, low, and then disappointed, high, medium, and low. Guys, these disappointed, high, medium, and low could actually be used to coerce people for things. Is this not part of something like a selfish ledger? Of course, this is not selfish ledger as Google, but is this not similar to it? So this is utilizing the Alexa skill to put emotions into the communication, has a very strong potential to coerce people. And I think this is a huge, huge issue. Yeah. And be careful if, particularly in the Massachusetts area, because the police have been quietly using the Boston Dynamics dogs. That's all we need, right? This kind of reminds me of that a larger scaled up scene, if you remember from Minority Report, when they send the spiders in, right? Coming in to find everybody. So Boston Dynamics responded to this fascinating story with a quote down here. Is it down here? I'm not seeing the quote here. Maybe it was from a different article that I saw the quote in. But the quote was basically like, they're not allowed to be used to confront people or to intimidate people. And we're watching this closely. And any police department that doesn't follow this is going to, they're going to lose their privileges using our robots. I'm thinking, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. We're gonna find cases where these dogs have been used to come up and do some freaky stuff, man. We're gonna find. Of course, here we got the door opening dog here. He's opening it for the other guy who's coming in with, whatever. So, of course, the valid part, there are cases where robots are used in these cases. Now, this is what one of the areas is like a bomb squad type event. And those are some of the areas where you'll see these. So sometimes a bomb squad is not typically where the police would go in and, you see it on the movies. You got to clip the red wire, out of the way, right? That's not usually what the bomb squad usually does. Usually what they do is they create barriers around it and do a controlled explosion, depending on what in the world is going on. And so what they'll do is they'll send a robot in, and then utilizing a screen like a video game, they'll just have the robot mess with the thing until it blows. So, and that's kind of the area that they're using these things in. But at what point in time is it going to become, oh, we don't want to put our police officers in danger? And I get that. I completely get that. But so here come the robo dogs instead. Here you go. You got this dog coming up, and now we're going to have this epic video game battle where the crazy guy is going to be doing epic battle with the dog like it's a final boss stage battle or something, going through there, and he's beating the dog or something with his gun, metal bar, and the dog will be grabbing back, taking swings back. It'll be this epic battle, man. It'll be kind of cool, but kind of terrifying because we don't need the police running around with Boston Dynamics dogs. That's a little on the frightening side. Let me know what you guys think about all these in the comments down below. What would you do if a police robo dog was coming your way? Let me know.